from Tracy Davis. He hopes to join us by 11:30, and of course Mike Tunner. Can I have any more else that need to be recorded? So you've got all that in hand, Sophie?
Yeah, those are the only apologies
Okay.
so far, just waiting on some other attendees.
Okay, very good. Moving to our declaration of interest. I guess it's something we try and achieve at every meeting, giving everyone the opportunity to declare any such matters with Sophie. And it's important that any new or expected future applications for KMR funding from any related parties that we all may have a connection with it, particularly in any governance capacities, and just want to have that recorded as part of our meeting today. Moving to the confirmation of minutes, and hand over to Sophie to take us through that, please. Before doing that, can I go straight to the motion to endorse the minutes of the joint committee meeting held on the 28th of July? Have a mover, please. Kia ora, Jack.
Yep.
And have a seconder?
Happy to second it, Terry.
Okay.
John Blackwell.
Thank you, John. So moved by Jack, seconded by John Blackwell, that those minutes be adopted. Or I have, to endorse the minutes of the joint committee meeting on the 28th of July. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Any abstentions? Moving through to the work program and agenda on page 10 of the agenda items. And again, hand over to Sophie to lead us through that.
Just welcome to Councillor Sayers. Thank you very much for joining us, Greg. Appreciate it. It's a busy day for you. Kia ora.
Okay. Have a mover to receive the Joint Committee Action Tracker, please.
Happy to move that, Tame. That's Amy. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Amy. Do you have a seconder?
Yeah, happy to second it, Terry. John.
Thank you, John.
Either one.
Moved by Amy, seconded by John Blackwell. We received the action tracker and hand it over to you, Sophie.
Kia ora. So the action tracker for this meeting actually will be closing off those last three items. I'm happy to share the screen if anyone would like a further review, and then if more actions arise from this meeting, we will regenerate and bring them back to you next month. Yeah, does anybody need a further review of any of those items? Otherwise, happy to move forward.
Okay. Yep, let's do that.
Sorry, Tame, just a quick note. I don't think we moved and seconded the confirmation of the apologies to be accepted.
Okay. Someone move the apologies, please.
Yeah, happy to
I'll
move
move,
it,
Tame.
Terry. John Blackwell.
Good, thank you, Georgina, and seconded by Jack Crawl. All those in favour, please say aye.
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 Those against? Any abstentions? Thank you. So, moving down to the second part of the work plan, and it's related to the Joint Committee Forward Work Plan. And the motion is to receive the Joint Committee Forward Work Plan. Have a mover, please.
Aye. Georgina.
Kia ora, Georgina. Have a seconder.
Councillor Sayers.
Kia ora, Greg. Morning, Greg, and kia ora. Thank you for that. So moved Georgina Curtis-Connolly, seconded by Greg Sayers. All those in favour, please say aye.
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 Those against? Any abstentions? That's carried, and hand it over to you, Justine.
Kia ora everyone. Just wanted to update everyone on the induction for new members. We had originally proposed for that to be on Monday the 24th of November, the same date as our next joint committee hui, but we may not have our new members confirmed by that stage from either council, so that is unlikely to go ahead. It's just for the record because it is written in the pack, but we'll update you closer to the time, obviously, around new dates, and that will depend on those members who are nominated from each council. Kia ora.
Okay, just going back to our agenda and the annual report on page 14 of your agenda pack. And with us today we have Emma Dore, the Amopaki business manager, and tabling the annual report for the approval of the KMR Joint Committee for 2024-25. Can I have a mover to receive the report, please?
Tommy, I'm quite happy to move all three recommendations, actually.
Okay, take it, Jack. Very good. I move all three recommendations. Any seconder, please?
I'm happy to second all three.
Good.
Thanks,
Thank
Tommy.
you, Georgina. So by Jack and seconded by Georgina, and taking all three recommendations under page 14 of the agenda item. And for the records, I'll just read them out. Procedure report, annual 24-25 by Emma Dore, dated 20th of October. Secondly, adopt the final draft of the annual report 24-25 for the provision to the Ministry for the Environment. And third, delegate to the Joint Committee Chair power to approve the final annual report with the ability for the Poutātaki to make minor editorial changes prior to publication if required. And so all those in favour of the motions for the three recommendations, please say aye.
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 Okay, any against? Any abstentions? So that's carried. So hand it over to you, Emma, if you've got anything to add.
Kia ora koutou. No, thank you. That was very simple for me.
I just saw Amy McDonald had her hand up. Perhaps she may have some things to add there. So, kia ora everyone.
Hi, I was actually just going to ask Emma, so thank you very much. Great report and very, very happy to be endorsing it. I guess just wondering if there was anything you wanted to highlight. It's a good opportunity for you to, I guess, highlight some of the things that you're really proud of in there and that we can be proud of as a committee as well. So kia ora. Just any highlights from you, Emma. Thank you.
Oh, kia ora, Amy. Thank you. I think I've just been blown up. First of all, I want to acknowledge Justine, who's done the bulk of the work on the annual report along with Ben. So thank you very much for that. Having been a late starter coming into the end of last financial year, I think that we should be absolutely thrilled to bits with the amount of remediation work that's happened this year and the growth of the KMR program, with increased landowners coming on way beyond our expectations and well over some of those KPIs. The stories we're having back from our landowners and groups has been wonderful. And so I think we're looking forward to another very productive year coming up.
Kia ora. And I shared this with Justine this morning. I was down here in the heart of the Hawke's Bay over the weekend, and you would be surprised the amount of people that have heard about KMR but then quickly connected to the sideshow that's going on at a council level. And I think, for us in the north anyway, I think we have to sort of hold the line, if you like, and we do it properly, with respect, And of course, but people make the connection and jump to the conclusion that it's one and the same, simply because they both carry kaipara at the forefront of their business. So yeah, just a short comment, and don't worry, I was quick to sort of point out that some of us don't even live in the area, but we have a very, very strong connection to it. And really want to endorse as well what Amy has had to say to Justine and everyone at Kaipara Mauri Kura Ema. And look forward to the next conversation with the Minister for the Environment. So, any further comments from any of the members? Oh,
Hi,
kia ora,
Tom, I got
Jack.
the hand up.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Look, I'd just like to tautoko Amy's comments. I think the report's outstanding. I always take my first arbiter is always fencing, because I thought that's kind of like when you do it, it's done. And you've exceeded our expectations there, so that's sensational. And the planting also. I'd like to congratulate the staff and everybody who put this together. It's a great result, and it also looks really nice too. So thank you, Ben, and everyone else. Just one little question, doesn't relate to the report itself, but it just reminded me. The item technology and generosity helping KMR to monitor change, the turbidity monitoring. I don't require any further information now, but I'd just like to request that we are provided with a report on how that's going. It's just as soon as there's anything to report, because it's obviously something that NRC hasn't done that we probably should have been doing, and I'm all ears as to how we can do that better. So I guess in results you can, and recommendations you can get as a result of this work, we'd love to hear. Thank you.
Kia ora, Jack. Tēnā koe, Justine.
Kia ora, Jack, and thank you very much to acknowledging all the hard work in the team as well. It's been a really great read. Our annual reports, I think, tell a really great story of all the hard work going on by many. On the monitoring side, on the 24th of November, I will be bringing up to the Joint Committee a couple of updates on monitoring. We have had some early results on the particular technology that Jack's indicated, but we will be bringing a Northern Regional Council for the early stage 2025 monitoring results. Duncan Covell from KMR will also be providing an overview, including to the Crown, around some of the case study monitoring that we will be doing. So that will be a great topic of update and conversation at our next TUI, and I will see if I can get the individual who's doing the research with Auckland Council support to come along via live stream for that meeting too. Kia ora.
Very good. Okay. Any further comments? All right. So moving to the agenda item on page 44 regarding the annual work plan and the information for the final work plan for 25-26, subject to audit, of course. There's 3 recommendations here to the Joint Committee: to receive the report, to note the unaudited nature of that report, and delegate to the Joint Committee Chair the power to approve the final work plan following any changes due to audit or MFU feedback. So the motion is to receive the report, note the 25-26 unaudited budget, and to delegate to the Chair power to approve the final annual work plan following any audit or MFE changes. Have a mover for that, please.
Happy to move, Tammy. It's Greg.
Kia ora, Greg. Have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Kia ora. Is that you, Georgina?
That is Deborah.
Oh, Deborah. Sorry. I don't have all the monocles on the screen here.
Aye.
So, moved by Greg, seconded by Deborah. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Any abstentions? And over to you, Greg.
Yeah, Tammy, just for clarification, I guess, in terms of any edits or modifications you might have to do with that delegation you've just been given, has that happened in the past, and kind of what type of what's the scope of that? And if you got feedback and need to be a bit more, what happens in those situations if you felt uncomfortable with it? So just clarity for the committee about the extent of those likely tweaks if required.
Yep. Very good, Greg. Good question. And I guess Justine or Emma, if there's some of the bits and pieces that could come up there. I can think of a few, but I'll pass it over to you first, Justine.
Tēnā koe, Greg. Great question. We have had some minor rounding issues, which are obviously to the second decimal point, cents and dollars. We tend to round them, and we've had some clarification additions to the annual work plan to highlight what we're doing around rounding. So that was one minor change that happened in year 2, perhaps 3, but nothing substantive. And obviously the annual work plan reflects the audited numbers when finalised. So should the auditors find any material changes that need then flow on into the annual work plan, then we would make those changes. Just because it's material, we've not had any changes from the auditors. We've had clean audits for 3 years, and what we're hearing from our auditors is that they're likely to issue a clean audit letter for this current annual report, which means that the annual work plan figures in front of us today now will be confirmed. So the only real reason we would make a change now would be if the auditors had found any material differences in year-end data points or financials. But great question, really good to have that clarified. Obviously, Ministry for the Environment has the decision rights as the primary funder around that annual work plan. So if they're uncomfortable with the financials or the revised annual work plan, we would have a dialogue. We've got 20 days to have that conversation. And secondly, if there were, secondly, we have already had early dialogue with Ministry for the Environment around the financials, around the revised numbers, and I think everyone is comfortable. So great questions, thank you.
Oh, that's very good, Justine. It's very helpful and to hear and encouraging. I guess probably just a really good reflection on the early feedback that you've had from both the ministry, but also the auditor. And it's nice reflection, I guess, back into the effort of the organisation, the staff themselves. So yeah, good news, and I guess a pat on the back as well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Greg. I was just going to add before passing over to Emma, some of the logistical things like issues around our minutes recording, the announcement about the live streaming and how that had to follow sort of definitive rules around privacy. And so we've had some changes over time. And quite simply, it's all new territory. We haven't been down that track before, so there's been those kind of logistical things. Greg did all I wanted to add on to the back of that. But yeah, we're working through them, and they will become clearer. I think there was a slight sort of blur, if you like, between the time when we were engaging with Ministry for Social Development around shovel-ready projects, and there was this misnomer that our Job for Nature funded program could fit shovel-ready criteria. Well, 2 different streams, funding streams, and it just wasn't going to work. But again, it didn't affect us in the end, but we just had to work through that. So we're trying to get ahead of the game rather than have a report and then go back and trawl our way through it. Yeah. But good questions around the finances, and we've tried to follow that pattern of working earlier with the officials to get it as close as possible to the finished product.
Right.
So yeah, on that
Thank you,
note,
Tammy.
no problem.
Thank you.
Hand it over to you, Emma.
Kia ora mātua. Justine, thank you for that. We are not expecting any changes to the statistics and the financials, but the reason we asked for the delegation, Greg, is that we've spotted 2 very minor typo edits in the document. You can imagine it's a very long document to proofread accurately. So before we go to publication, we just need that little time to make absolutely certain that there's nothing else that we've missed. So that's what that little edit might be.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Emma.
Kia ora, Amy.
Oh, kia ora. Thank you for that conversation. That's helpful just to understand that sort of scope and scale of changes. My comment was just on looking at the draft annual work plan and the final annual work plan, the little table that you guys have helpfully created for us on page 2 I'm looking at, but that doesn't seem right. Anyway, just in the green, looking at that increase in the remediation grants and partnerships dollars, and that change being due to increased contracted remediation and partnership contracts. I just think that's a real positive that we should be really proud of, and to me it's a real indicator of the hard work of the program, and I guess the way that the Motukuta team have continued to find ways to build on success, because we are still in quite hard economic times, and the headwinds that we have been working, to battle with over the years, in many cases they are still present. So I just think that's really commendable that we're looking at an increase in the amount of work that's going to be delivered against what we had planned for originally. So just well done. And it's awesome, after such a big year that we've had this year, to be looking ahead to another big successful year next year. So kia ora, thank you.
Kia ora, Amy. Thanks for that. And over to you, Jack.
Yeah, kia ora, Tammy. Look, I've just got a question regarding Section 7, risk management. Bit of a delicate one. I'm just wondering whether, is it worthwhile including potential risk of contravening DOC rules or any tensions between the engagement with the pilot in the Auckland region and that having any spillover effects in the Northern region? I know, I guess the MOU was designed to kind of deal with those risks, but I'm just wondering if there's a possibility that creation of that document and the subsequent works that go on as a result of that might actually cause some more reputational risk. They might be small, but is it worth putting them in there? It is a delicate one. You could put it into operational or relational reputational risks. So maybe if Justine could comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Justine?
Through the chair, thank you. Look, all good points raised. I'm happy to go back to the risk register and see if we need to add anything specific. It is a new initiative, new project that we obviously have launched on 1 October. That was between the original work plan, which we always do before the end of the year for Ministry for the Environment, and now the revised final one. Happy to look at that. This is exactly the reason why we are piloting very carefully the KMR DOC community agreement in the Auckland region to iron out any aspects around the operational and reputational aspects of that. And I agree with you that it's not done quickly, because we want to make sure that we are honouring both parties' needs and requirements. However, you, I think, are correct that we have a community writ large who may have expectations or views on KMR working on DOC administered lands, riparian marginal strips, and that is something that we'll work through together in a partnership with DOC. We will obviously alert the Joint Committee should there be any material challenges around that project, and we've certainly heard the Joint Committee when we did raise this in April with governors, hearing the need to be careful and systematic in our rollout and implementation of that. So kia ora. Also, just while I have the floor, we have just received a signed, clean audit letter from the auditors. So they've obviously been listening to the live stream. So that's very responsive from our very fabulous auditors who've worked really tirelessly with the team. So shout out to everyone in the team for that. And I am really thrilled with the 4th clean audit. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Thank you, Justine.
Thank you, Justine. Can I, on the back of the point that Jack has raised, Justine, the situation surrounding road reserves with NZTA, Whangarei District Council, and I guess NRC, where the road itself was transferred to the public ownership through Wakakotahi or NZTA, but the road reserves have still remained in the District Council. And I think what Jack is raising is something that perhaps not so much particular emphasis on dockland, but public land per se, because that river reserve on the Mangakahia, State Highway 15 and the Mangakahia River is harbouring quite a strong nursery of unwanted willows and poplars. And we've had a bit of a crack at that public sort of swimming hole, if you like, and tidied that up a bit, but it's the rest of it, and we're trying to work through that. And I think there is a way it's going to come via this first cut, if you like, of the arrangement with the Conservation Department, and good points that Jack has raised. Kia ora. Any other comments on that item? Okay, we've got a good strong tailwind behind us. Moving on to page 65, item 6.3, an update on KMR operational settings, and we have Lizette Wilson and Darren Van Beek with us today, and this report sets out some updates to KMR operational settings, in particular the price schedule used to cost projects and determine grant value. We'll take the item as being read, but there are some recommendations 1 to 5, and I will go through those. That the Joint Committee received the report update on KMR operational settings by Lizette Wilson and Darren Van Beek. Today's date, note that KMR has undertaken a review of key operational policy settings and considers they're largely fit for purpose for the coming season, with only 2 operational improvements recommended. There's an accompanying paper, Approach for Native Planting, Pre-allocations 2026. Number 3, approve the removal of poplar species from the KMR species list due to low uptake, high transaction costs for this type of project, and practical difficulties in supplying to Auckland-based landowners and groups. 4, note that the KMR price schedule has been reviewed and current prices will be retained, with a further review to be undertaken by 1 October 2026. And finally, note that engagement is already underway with program partners, nurseries, suppliers, landowners and groups to facilitate early planning of KMR projects next year. So the motion is to receive the report, note the recommendations 2, 4 and 5, and approve the removal of poplar species from the KMR species list. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please?
I'm happy to move all 5. Thank you, Tommy.
Good. Thank you, Jack. Do you have a seconder?
I'm happy to second. Oh, yeah. Or
yeah,
someone else.
No, that's fine. I'm just going to move to John Blackwell. You might. Did you have a comment, John, or were you seconding?
Yeah, I do have a comment.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit concerned about removing the poplar species from the KMR species list. And I know the other night, Tammy, we had a meeting up to Mangakahia, and it came up again that poplars were blocking the rivers, and there's quite a lot of negativity about poplars. but I've also seen the good work they've done in the past when I planted them 40 years ago, and I'm a bit reluctant that we're losing them. Saying that, we have a nursery at the Northern Regional Council that's not working particularly well. It's very expensive, those poles. We have to subsidise them. So that's why I'm a bit reluctant that we take them away, because poplar has got such a bad name of recent times. But I can show you places where I've planted that used to have tomos, and they've actually gone. So they have their place. And like all trees, they also have their time. And these poplars don't last as long as Tana Mahuta. 40, 50 years is more than enough. And it's probably the upkeep of these trees we're planting today. As my father said, you plant a tree now, it'll be work for life. So we've got to remember that the poplars have done a good job. They've got a bad name, but I think there's still a place for them. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, John. Now that's got a few people going. Kia ora, Amy.
I can put some numbers around poplar figures if that would be helpful. In the 2 years that we have had poplars come through our doors, we have only been able to move 524 poles and just over 5,000 wands. Part of it's very administratively heavy, and as the paper said, the pickup rate it's because it's coming from the NRC nursery largely, it's more difficult to manage in terms of getting the poplar poles or wands out to everybody who has requested them. And then, of course, it's a bit more of a challenge if someone backs out of them and the poplar has already been cut. I'll leave it there.
Kia ora. Kia ora, Amy.
Kia ora. Thank you, Tammy. I've got a flow-on question. I thought John would have a bit of a... well, we talk about poplars a lot at NRC, let's put it that way. And I'm a lover of the natives, so, I don't mind too much that potentially poplars come out of the list, as is per the recommendation. The question I have is, what's the experience for the landowner? So we know the poplars are still available from the NRC nursery, and there's an avenue for landowners to access them in Northland. So I guess just wondering for a landowner, because you're right, John, it's right tree, right location. There are places where a poplar is an important tool in land management. So I guess, I don't know if it's a question for you, Lucia or Justine, but what's the experience of the landowner where a poplar is an important species for them on their land, and how do we ensure that they get kind of a seamless connection to access the plants that they want?
So through the chair, if I may, I just want to respond both to John and Amy's questions, because they're valid ones. Like, Kaipara has no material problem with poplars. It's why we had those in our exotic species list. Apologies, I have a bit of noise outside. I'm hoping it's not coming through on the audio. But what I can say is that there is nothing stopping landowners in Northland from going to that NRC nursery, and it's actually simpler from a landowner perspective just to go direct. I think that's why we've not had the pickup for, through KMR processes. We have quite tight contracting and requirements around monitoring and etc. That means that for the landowner, I guess that's the feedback we've had, is proof in the numbers, not a lot of pickup, because our systems are geared for more larger scale, often more expensive requirements around the various types of shrubs, trees and plants that we do support. So, and we do know that there is another Auckland-based nursery that is now offering poplars. So there's no impediment and no barrier. In fact, if anything, I think the landowners are voting with their feet to go directly to the nurseries in question. So I think we're all right in this conversation. The material question today is whether KMR should and can sustain those small numbers of poplar wands and poles in that space, or whether the landowners are just directed to go directly to the NRC nursery and or the nursery in the Auckland region. So that's the material question, I think. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Justine. Kia ora, Jack.
Yeah, good korero from everybody. Covered most of what I was going to say. I like the staff report. I think it's well detailed. I like the recommendations about ceasing pre-allocation and also ceasing poplar poles because it's much more cost effective to get them from the council. So my question is, it's a little question, the very last line of page 2 where it says low uptake of exotic species, it says here, poplars are highly cost effective. They may be cost effective for NRC to supply, but they're not cost effective for us to supply. So I'm just wondering if someone's left out the word not from that line, or else maybe reword it to say they're cost effective in terms of the farmers to get it from the council rather than from us, because it makes it sound, because the sentence then becomes a little bit contradictory. Pedantic, I know, but
you're absolutely right. The intent is to say it's not cost effective for
us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my only question. Thank you.
Any other comments from any of the members? Or Lizette, Darren, do you have anything further to add to your paper?
Darren's rushing back from a site visit, I think.
Okay.
I don't have anything further to add. Just here for any questions if you have anything.
Okay. Very good. All right. Now, well, if there's no further discussion on that item, let's...
So, Tommy, that will be subject to that little minor amendment. Does that be right?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Certainly note that, please, Sophie. And so moving to item 6.4 on page 69 of your agenda pack.
Sorry, Tame, through the chair. I don't think we had a seconder for that paper. Did we have a seconder for the motions, subject to the change that has been identified?
I think it was me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
But I don't know if we put it to the vote, because I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So, are we creating a new motion, or are we going to amend what's there to read subject to the amendment? And we'll put it back to the mover and seconder.
Mr. Chairman, I wasn't proposing an amendment. I was just proposing the correction of the
correction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I think so either, as well. Okay, so we're clear on that. It's subject to that change. Well, correction actually, because it wasn't left out. Okay, so moving to the next item, 6.4, the approach to native plant allocation for 2026, and welcome to David McDermott, and the recommendations are read about here. That the Joint Committee received the approach to native plant allocation 26, written by David McDermott. Note that following a review of winter 25 operational settings, some changes to the native plant pre-allocations to reflect KMR's mature operational settings, and 3, approved the discontinuation of native plant pre-allocation to nurseries for the 26 planting season. So the motion reads to receive the report, note the recommendations to change native plant pre-allocations, and approve the discontinuation of native plant pre-allocations for the 26 planting season. Do I have a mover, please? Is that you, Amy?
Yeah, I'm happy to move it, and I've got a question, please, as well.
Okay.
Yeah, happy to second, Tammy. So
okay. Right. We'll just put that motion, and then I need to go back and put the last one as well. So, moved by Amy and seconded by Greg that the motion is read, be passed, be put up for consideration. All those in favour, please say aye.
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 Those against? Any abstentions? Okay, that's carried. And we just go back and put that previous motion, please, to receive the report, noting recommendation 2, 4 and 5, and approve the removal of poplar species from the KMR species list, subject to the noted changes or noted correction. And that was moved by Jack and seconded by Amy.
Yep,
All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Any abstentions? That's carried. And no haka, please. Okay, moving on to that native plant allocations. That's the got myself a bit of a tangle up here. Where are we? Yeah, 6.4 approach to native plant allocations. Any questions regarding the kia ora, Amy?
Thank you. Kia ora, Tame. Yeah, just a question. So thank you very much for the paper, and I'm very much in support of this. I think it's a reasonable and responsible approach to the learning we've had from last season. Just the question I have is around how we will communicate and liaise with the nurseries. Highlighted as one of the risks is just how we, whilst we have not made an ongoing commitment, you can't help but have expectations raised, I guess. So just wondering how we're going to ensure that we communicate early and well with all of our nurseries who are so important to the project and just maintain those relationships. Thank you.
Good, Amy. Thank you for the question. I'm David McDermott. I'm the planting lead for. Basically, I go and visit all of our nurseries. We've got 20 nurseries on the books. I'm in the middle of doing the annual spring visit to each nursery, where we look at stock, we look at seed collection, and we look at plant health and all those things, and basically iron out any issues that we faced in the previous winter. So the plan is to carry on with our lines of comms with all those face to face, and also for me to make sure that I'm communicating how the kaupapa extends into 2026 and the different ways that KMR can support our nurseries to supply plants, but also to connect with their communities and create projects for the program. We've found over the years that the nurseries have become a real hub for interest and activity for the program, so we'll just continue with that. For some of our nurseries, the smaller ones, it might be, a small shock for them that that there is a change happening. However, as it's laid out in the report there, that this is about KMR moving from growth phase into a steady, efficient delivery model, and that I think if we can continue to support our nurseries the way we have this year, then I don't think that shock will be felt very strongly on the ground. So hope that answers your question.
Thank you. I think it's really great to hear that you're out there face to face, because I think a lot of these things comes down to just having that really good open dialogue and good relationships. So yeah, that sounds like a good approach. Thank you, David. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Amy.
Kia ora, Amy and David. Any further questions, points? Kia ora, John.
Yeah, just on a high note, we're seeing record prices for milk solids and also for lamb and beef. We also see costs have gone up as well, but looking ahead, I would think there could be a bit more money in the pasture side of Northland, and that may put a little bit of pressure on KMR. Thank you. In a good way.
Very good point, John.
Thank you.
As long as they don't sell it all. Any other points on that matter? So just check we have put this up and passed it. And moving to the next agenda item. Which is the Poutātake report on page 72. We'll take that as read. And the motion is that we receive the report by Justine Dorr. You have a mover and seconder in that direction, please. Kia ora, Georgina. Moved by Georgina Curtis Conley. Do you have a seconder?
Happy to second it, John Blackwell.
Yep, kia ora, John. Moved by Georgina and seconded by John. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Those against? Any abstentions? I'll hand the time over to you, Justine.
Kia ora, everyone. Obviously, I take the paper as read, but just as indicated very briefly earlier, a key focus going forward will be to work, including with the Crown, around really understanding the benefits and impacts of KMA's activities on the ground. That will be a key focus for our November Joint Committee hui in Dugable, and obviously we'll also provide a bit of a feedback on how the KMA DOC community agreement is progressing. We're really pleased so far with the expressions of interest in that. So I just wanted to call out that that is really the direction of travel for some of the conversations we're having next. It reflects in large part, the maturity of the work we're doing, the fact that we've got, a high degree of expertise, and our landowners and groups, over 1,050 of them, know KMR what we do now, how it works, and, are really excited about the forthcoming winter. And just to refer back to John's very important point around the changing economics, particularly in the pastoral sector, we are working very closely with Fonterra around its cooperative difference program. A really big shout out to both that entity and also the suppliers around trying to work very clearly around the opportunities for on-farm planting, including in respect of carbon offsetting on-farm for winter 2026. And likewise, I appreciate that not everyone could attend, but with the field trip we have coming up towards the end of this month, hosted by Beef and Lamb NZ, that's an opportunity to also signal the opportunities in respect of dry stock, and we've got about 250, 300 people coming along to that open day with one of our KMR landowners. So really huge collaborative effort there. So looking forward to really taking it to the next level around demonstrating the impacts and benefits that we are delivering. The Earthshot Prize process really highlighted the opportunities to tell that story in different ways. And obviously with the Crown's support, we will be rolling out our case study monitoring project, and you'll hear more from Duncan Covell next time we meet. So kia ora.
Kia ora, Justine. Any questions, from the members on the Poutātake report?
It's Amy here. Not a question, but just an acknowledgement of Justine for ongoing amazing work. Much appreciation for all that you achieve, on our behalf, and with the Motokura. We're always very pleased to see the progress being made. So thank you, Justine. Kia ora.
Yeah. Kia ora, Amy.
Very good. Very good. Okay, moving to the next item, which is the conclusion of our hui. And we broke the sound barrier and concluded it a good hour before time. Well done to everyone who took the time to join and connect today. Give yourselves a big pat on the back, and maybe take the recipe and spread it around the other organisations that you're all connected to. I can name a few that I'd like to think we could take a couple of hours off the drawn out agenda items that we have to sit through. But however, we'll leave it at that and look, very, very encouraging time, I think. I'm looking forward to 2026 with a lot of enthusiasm, and I know we've got a big job ahead of us, people. If you know some people who are looking for a challenge that could sort of come in behind the path that we've been on, or connect to the path that we've been on with Justine as Pautataki. I won't say too much more about that, but encourage people who you think are suited to a role in a job like this. And I say that in front of Justine, who has agreed, by the way, to be an active part of the recruitment plans for her replacement. We'll have all the experts tell us that it's the wrong thing to do, blah, 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 but yeah. They tried to tell us that KMR would never work as well. But here you go. And in saying that, I really want to say a big thank you to you all. I'm really encouraged to see some familiar faces, and let's hope you're all back here in November. Greg and and the people in Auckland there, and definitely our Northern Regional Council members, and of course the Kaipara members that are here. But as always, keep our channels open, keep our minds open, and I think we'll make this thing fly. So on that note, we'll offer a benediction to tie our meeting up today. Kia tauano, kia tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou ariki ai hiu karaiti. Te pipi ngā tahiki te wairua tapu, o ake. Amene. Kia ora.
Kia ora,
Kia ora, everyone.
Thanks, Tammy.
Everybody.
Te whaitara.
Ka kite.
Ka kite.